Hello, welcome to week 5 of the phonics course from Coventry Adult Education. My name's Debbie and I'm your tutor. I hope you're having a good week and you're well. Let's make a start. There's my email address should you need it and the links if you're interested in further courses. To make you aware, although this is week 5 of the phonics and it ends this week, after the half-term week, we start a 6-week programme, as mentioned here, on school English. And basically that's 6 weeks of covering the basic English skills that the children pick up in school. So we have a week of grammar, a week of punctuation, spelling, writing, reading and poetry, I think it is. You're already enrolled on the course because the actual length of time is a term when you enroll, so they'll be continued to send out to you as these ones have been. If you have any questions, queries, comments, if you don't wish to be part of that, please feel free to email me, let me know, but I think you'll probably find it quite a useful tool. It's in the same format, it will be emailed out to you each week so you can watch the recordings at your own leisure, and we'll have resources as well with it, so hopefully that will help you support your children with school English. Just to run through the usual things, we support the British values as are taught in schools. This session will be about 45 minutes actually. Please have a pen and paper to make any notes you need to. And we promote safeguard and prevent agendas, and we have a duty of care to yourselves. There's an opportunity to take a break, but obviously you can pause this as ever suits you. Just a question then, did you have fun with rhyming last week? Did you get some of those activities done with your children? I hope so. I hope you enjoyed that. So this session, we're going to continue with letters and sounds. We're going to go into phase 5. We're going to cover the phonics screening test and phase 6. So we're going to bring it all round together now really, and there'll be some more activities and both online and things for you to, resources for you to print off. We're coming to the end of the phonics course this week, so there's quite a few bits to bring together, but hopefully based on what you've already got, this will help. So just take a moment to consider, please, where would you put yourself in the traffic light system? Do you feel like you already know lots about phase 5 and 6 phonics and screen test? Would you be green? Maybe know a little bit, maybe you'd be yellow or orange. Perhaps this is new to you, perhaps you'd be red. Just take a moment to think about that before we start. Okay, so just to bear in mind the thought bubbles, please think about it, write it down, whether you see the notepad, we're all listening when you see the little boy with his ear, and to repeat out loud. So phase 5 then, this is where we start this week. So in phase 5, children begin to learn some new ways of representing the sounds that they've learned already. And if you look at this chart, this shows the graphemes, and everything in one column all makes the same sound, okay? So for instance, if we look at the column at the end, at the very end with OW on it, just here, the OW column, everything in this column makes the OW sound, okay? Sometimes those letters, the grapheme will make a different sound as well, but this is, we start to introduce this to the children, okay? Just a few at a time. Here's an example of that, okay? So looking at those pictures there, what words might we have and how are they linked? Let's have a look. So this takes just a segment of the chart we've just looked at, and we're going to look at the E column, okay? And in the E column, we've got 4 different ways of making the E sound, okay? Let's have a look. So first picture, we've got the feet. The E sound is made by double E. Next picture along, we've got the baby. And in this case, Y makes an E sound, okay? The next picture along, we've got the EA in leaf, making an E sound. And the last picture is of she, and a single E makes the E sound. Can you see that joins up? Children aren't taught all 4 ways at once. We don't throw too much at them, but they learnt the double E back in phase 3. And in phase 5, they'll learn the EA as in leaf. And you'll see that as we pass through, okay? So it's just about introducing them to the fact that there's more than one grapheme, one way of writing each sound. We start to develop, we move on. They've learnt some building blocks. Now we start to teach them about the tweaks and the bits that might be slightly different. So as I say, in phase 5, the children will learn EA to go along with double E. Phase 5 is usually taught in year 1 to children, but it will depend on the stage of your children, obviously, any impact from the time they've had off school and things like that, and how they're getting on. Check in with your children's school if you kind of want to find out whereabouts they are, and they should be able to give you more information. So let's follow this link. To hear these sounds. Here we go.
Phase 5 phonic sounds. Pronunciation. A. Crayon. Owl. Cloud. I. Tie. E. Beads. Oi. Boy. Girl. Ooh. Glue. U. Q. Aw. Saw. Whistle. Elephant. U as in pew. Oo as in screw. O. Toe. Aw. Haunted. E. Monkey. A. Snake. E. Concrete. I. Slide. O. Bone. Oo. Flute. U. Cube.
Okay, so that just gives you an idea of those sounds. The sounds at the bottom there with the dash in between, we come on to those a bit later on there. They're quite specialised sounds. But let's have a run through what comes next. We're going to have a look at how those sounds fit into words now. Okay, so we're just reinforcing what we've just seen. So which of those sounds do you think we might have here? What's a picture of? We've got some crayons. Yeah, so we've got A as in crayon. Okay, A, so crayon. Okay, and if you look in the blue box at the bottom, this is just building on your knowledge. So we had AI making the A sound. That was the grapheme that we had in phase 3. So we're teaching the children an alternative now. So they're learning that it could be AY or it could be AI. And the children learn to, when they're writing a word, they learn which spellings are correct, whether it's CRAI in crayon or CRAY in crayon. And this is all part of that development. Next one then. What are these? We've got some beads. Okay, so our sound is E. Can you remember which grapheme this might be an alternative to? Which one we learnt in phase 3? It was a double E sound, okay? So again, both of these graphemes, when we read them, make the E sound, and children have to begin to learn to distinguish and choose which one they need. What's the picture of this time? A key? What's that sound going to be, do you think? E, as in key. And can you remember what this might be an alternative grapheme to? It's a double E sound again. So actually, the children are learning 3 ways of making the E sound in this phase, okay? Again, we teach the children the sounds, letters and sounds takes us through the sounds they're going to need first, okay, to make the most words. So the idea is there's quite a lot of words with the double E sound in it, and so we're teaching the children those together. Okay, what's this picture? Pie. And there's that I sound. I as in pie. Can you remember what the alternative grapheme might be for this one from phase 3? I'll give you a clue. It's got 3 letters in it. IGHI. Okay. Next one, what's the gardener using? It's a hoe. And the sound is O as in hoe. O and E together making the O sound. Can you remember what this might be an alternative to? Have a think. Let's see. O that we learnt in phase 3 down there in the blue. Yeah. O and A making O. Here's our picture of our trusty glue again. Yeah, oo sound in glue, and it's an alternative to the double O, making an oo sound, as in moon and spoon. Yeah, so here's an alternative to that one. Here's another alternative to that one. Oo, as in screw. Yeah, so EW sometimes gives us the oo sound. Okay, it's another alternative to the double O, as in moon and spoon. Some of this, as you're watching it, you'll be going, oh yes, of course. Some of it you'll be thinking, didn't even realise, because you don't until you really start picking it apart. You don't, but being able to pick it apart and put it back together will really help your children. What's this image of? It's a saw. What's our sound going to be? It's or, and this time quite differently. Or is made with an A and a W. What's this an alternative to them? Or being made with an O and an R, as in phase 3. So we're teaching the children a different way of making that or sound. Okay. Right time of year for this. We've got a bit of a spooky house here, and we might say that it's haunted. And here's another alternative grapheme for or. Less commonly used, but it is still an alternative, and it's A and U together making the or sound. Okay, another alternative to O and R, or A and W, as we've just learned. Next one, what we've got here. What do you think the sound will be? Cloud, and the sound is ow. Okay, can you remember how we represented ow? Which grapheme we used in phase 3? What was the alternative? It was OW, ow as in cow. Do you remember? Now we've got it with an OU. Next one, picture of a toy. Okay, we've got oi as in toy. Can you remember what the grapheme was that we learnt in phase 3? How did we write oi in phase 3? O and I. Yeah, as in boil or coin. Super stuff. Next one, quite a nice picture. What have we got going on here? What's this picture look like? It's a whirl, or a swirl, I guess, even. Yeah. And this time we've got I and R making the sound. We've actually got 2 graphemes that we learnt in phase 3 that would go instead of these. Can you remember what they were, what the alternatives were? Take a moment. ER and UR, as in her, as in curl. Yeah, do you remember? So again, this is another one where there's actually quite a few alternatives that you can use. What colour's the paint? What colour can you see? It's white, yeah. Slightly simpler one, the alternative grapheme. This time just a whoo. Yeah, sometimes W and H work together to make the whoo sound. Okay. Here we go then. A good old-fashioned telephone, yeah, or phone. Okay, here's our sound being made by a PH. Can you remember the alternative graphemes we learnt back in phase 2, actually, I think, for this one? And the single and the hard. Remember? So as in of and off. Yeah, another alternative. This one's slightly different. We haven't learnt an alternative yet, but what are these people doing? They're in a queue. Okay. And this part of the word queue we say as you, as in I'm pointing at you. Okay, so you as in queue. Yep, so sometimes UE gives us you as in queue. Sometimes, what's that a picture of? You might see them in places of worship, typically churches. Where you sit, it's called a pew. Here's another way of making the U sound. Okay, here's another phoneme, grapheme for you, EW, yeah. U as in pew, U as in queue, and we taught these ones together as well. Okay, so those are the phase 5 sounds apart from the bottom line, which as I say, we'll come to in the second part. Okay. So taking into account what we just looked at and using this chart, this is a chart we looked at earlier on, just spun around on each side. It's just a bit easier to look at. This time we're going to take the PH that we just looked at. We're going to take the phoneme, okay? And if we look at where it features on the chart, this gives us an idea of how it lines up. So we've got single F as in fun, double F as in cuff, and PH, and the example we're given here is photo. So this again is just to show you this chart has got, I think, just under 100 sounds on it when we look at the whole thing. But it just shows you how they're grouped together so that children can learn. Children wouldn't ever be shown this whole chart at once, certainly not in year reception, year 1, year 2. As they move on, they might see it as a whole thing once they've really understood the concept and they know all the sounds confidently. But ordinarily it would perhaps just be a column or 2 at once, just to get them used to how it works and how we can find the alternative graphemes to help with their spelling. And this is again, once they've come beyond the very basics of phonics in terms of any way of making a phonetic attempt at, and now they're beginning to refine it. They're learning about spellings, and this is how it can be used to really help. Okay, take a moment. Can you think of any other words that have got the sound in them with a PH? What can you come up with? We've got photo there. Can you think of any others? I did this a little bit earlier. I got phone, elephant, a bit cheaty really, phantom, photo, as we've got here. That was as far as I got. Phoebe's a girl's name, I know, that starts with a PH. Yeah, there are more. Just interested to see what you got. So following on from that, and just to explain this a little bit further, a nice activity that you can do with children to explain this, which comes away from the paper and the charts and actually gives it a bit more of a story edge. We're going to look at the A family. Okay, in phase 5, we learn the alternative AY. Okay, there are other alternatives, as you can see from the strip. There it is, look. There are other alternatives, and we're just going to look at a way using story that we can make this make more sense. So this is Daddy A, AI. This is Daddy A. Daddy A likes to go in the middle of words. Daddy A says, it's a pain to paint in the rain. It's a pain to paint in the rain. Okay, using your notepad then, note down as many of the AI words as you can that you can see in the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, pause it if you need more time, but otherwise let's have a look together. We've got A in pain, A in paint, and A in rain. Okay, we've got rain, pain, and paint. So they've all got the A sound in them. Yeah. And we're just bringing it to life for the children by giving this character a face. And so on. Next one then, Mummy A. And this time if you look, the A grapheme is spelled AY. So this is Mummy A. And she is called May. May likes to go on the end of words. And let's listen to the ditty here. All day, May likes to chase the children away to play. And this time I've made it in red so you can see the A words this time, yeah. So we've got May, day, away, and play. And can you see all those words with the A there? Again, just give me the opportunity to see where it works. And again, you could have your list with children, so you might still have your pain and your paint here, and you could pick out with the children, oh look, there's A, AI, there's A, AY, and you could show them very clearly, okay? Introducing the other ones of these will come further on. This is probably more of a year 2 activity, but it's still quite a nice thing to do if you're trying to explain it. So the next one is the AE twins. This is Jane and Jake. They are the AE twins. You can hear their sound in the middle of words, but they need another letter to come and split them up. We come on to this split diagram a bit further on. I've put it in because it does feature in the A sound, but let's see if we can find them all. So Jane and Jake like to bake, especially when they make chocolate cake. Can you find all of those split diagraphs? So there's a letter in between them. This might be a bit trickier because we haven't covered this yet, but let's have a go. Can you find all the words in that bottom paragraph? They've got the A and E split up by something else. I'll give you a clue. Jane is one of them, look, where the A and the E are split up by another letter. Can you find the other ones that do that? Just in this bit, Jane and Jake like to bake, especially when they make chocolate cake. Have a little go. Okay, if you need to pause it for more time, feel free to do that now. Let's just have a look at this together then. So on my list, I've got Jane, Jake, cake, bake, and make. Okay, as I say, I'll explain a little bit more about the split diagram, but just to know that A and E together, even with another letter in the middle, also fits on this list. It's an alternative diagram making the A sound. Okay. Next one then. This is Snowy A. This is Snowy and his sleigh. He likes to go anywhere in words. Let's have a look. Snowy's sleigh has a weight of 88 kilos. He lives next door to his neighbour Nellie, who likes to neigh all day. If you look at all those red words there, these are examples of where E-I-G-H make an A sound. Okay. Sleigh, weight, 80, 8, neighbour, neigh. All words where we use E-I-G-H as grapheme to write the sound A. Okay. One more to go with that. Grandma A. And if you look here, we've got Grandma A is E-Y. Okay. This is Grandma A. She likes to go on the end of words. Go carefully with Grandma A, as she can be sneaky and appear in the E family for words such as money. So make sure you check. Don't let her catch you out. Grandma A shouts out hey when you stare at her grey hair. There's 3 in that bottom paragraph. Can you find them? Read it again. Grandma A shouts out hey, especially when you stare at her grey hair. Have a look, see if you can find them. Okay, so we've got Grandma A, hey, and grey. Yeah. And as it says at the top, just be aware because sometimes EY can make the E sound, just to confuse things further. Okay, but that's a really nice activity to just explain to children how we use alternative graphemes, alternative spellings to make the same sound, okay? It happens a lot in the English language, and again, we introduce it relatively early on. We're into year 1 here, because the children need to know the rules, and as difficult as the English language can be for all the differences and where the rules change, teach it early enough on. Children are quite adaptable. Generally, if it's taught early enough on and it's explained and they can see it and they can play with it and work with it, they'll get it. Another thing we teach in phase 5 is alternative pronunciation. So as well as teaching different graphemes, we teach different phonemes. For instance, if you look at this, we've got a, a, a. We've got a as in acorn, we've got a in hat and a in was. And actually, if you look at the table underneath, the A in acorn is actually an A sound. The A in hat is actually an A sound. And the A in was is actually an O sound. Was. Hat, acorn. So this is the other way around now. We're looking at alternative phonemes. Okay, we're looking at alternative ways of saying it. Okay, so alternative ways of saying the at sound, and children are also taught this. Again, just remember, phase 5 isn't taught for at least a year after your children come into reception. possibly 18 to 20 months for some children. Okay, it's further on. So just remember, we're doing this in 5 weeks, so we're chugging this along. It won't be this fast for your children. They'll have plenty of time to embed and really, really get the rules as they go along. I'm just making you aware in phase 5, as well as learning there are different ways to write words, they also realise that there are different ways to read each sound as well, and they learn some of those alternatives. And they get to investigate them too, which is quite nice. It's not just don't read it like that, read it like this. It's again done in the building blocks way so that children can have a really good go with that. Okay, it's quite a lot to take on there. I'm going to pause here for a moment, just press your pause button, take a moment to have a break, and then we'll come back and carry on. Thank you. Okay then, so welcome back. This is the other part of the session I promised. Looking at the bottom of the chart here, the phase 5 sound map, we've got some sounds that have got a dash between them, okay? And these are called split digraphs. So have a look at the ones in the box there. Remember, there's 2 letters in a digraph. Di means 2. So in a split digraph, they're split up, and it's as simple as that, okay? They're split up by another letter, but they still make the same sound, okay? Let's find out a bit more about them. So here they are. We've got AE, which we learned about the A sound with Jake and Jane in the family. EE, IE, OE, and UE. And you might notice they're vowels, okay? AE, IO, and U, okay? So they're long vowels. This is another way that they're known, okay? So A, the AE split digraph makes the A sound. The EE split digraph makes the E sound. The IE split digraph makes the I sound. The OE split digraph makes the O sound. And the UE split digraph makes the U sound, okay? So it follows the pattern. There is a pattern there. And as you see them built, it makes far more sense, okay? So a bit more of story animation, hook the children in, explain it to them. Here we go. Let's start with this one. So the story goes like this, looking at the first digraph of the split digraphs. A and E were best friends. When they were together, they made the long A sound, such as words of Sunday, reggae. You hear the A sound, Sunday, reggae. Hear that long sound? Then one day, they got split up. Another letter had to stand between them, but they still held hands, the red line over the top, the dash underneath, and they still made the same long A sound. So even though they're apart, they still make the same sound. Really important point to make. So for instance, in this word, knowing that, let's read it. K-A-M. K-A-M. We don't read the E on the end because the E goes with the A to make the A sound, okay? So it's 3 sounds. K-A. What do we get? K. Quite often when I'm doing this, people will say to me, but why don't they just write it like this? Why have they split those letters up? Why is it not just K-A-M? It'd make far more sense, wouldn't it? It'd be far easier to decode and build if it did. It just isn't. It's just the way the English language works. And we've just got to remember that what we do is we split them up. The sound doesn't change. It's still the A sound, but they're apart from each other. And when we're writing it, when the children are learning it, it's written like this just to remind them that something will come in the middle, okay? But the sound stays the same. And that's why when we come to read words like this and we're not taught phonics, we always want to put an E on the end. Kame. Doesn't make came, does it? But if we can learn these long vowels, these split digraphs, we can make more sense of it for the children. Let's follow that on. Okay, what's our picture of here? Using that long A sound again, we've got cake. Yeah. A. Yeah. Here it comes. A. Follow the animations because they will help with this, okay? A. Super. Next one. What are they doing? Oh. Shh. A. 3 phonemes again. Shh. A. Still counts as one phoneme, the AE, even though they're split up, okay? Sh, ache. And again, that's easier for children once they understand the split digraph than how do we spell shake? Shack. Because that doesn't make sense. It doesn't phonetically work. We split these we teach these split digraphs, sorry, it will make sense. And you'd be amazed at how many words use these split digraphs, these long vowel sounds. So this really helps children as they get onto more complicated words. Next one. This time we look at the double E. So double E used to be together and still is in many words. One day they got split up. So when they were together, they made words such as, what can you see here? Tree, bee, seen, meet, feel. We still use a lot of those words, don't we? The AE less so, but the double E we still use. One day they got split up. Another letter had to stand between them, but they still make the E sound. For instance, in this word, even. Even. Yeah? Even. Yeah? We don't say an extra E. The long E sound we say at the beginning. Even. Yeah? Super. Next one then. IE. I. Okay. What do we get with IE? Let's have a look. Pictures help you. Get die. One dice is traditionally known as a die. We get tie. Let's have a look at some others. Tie, pie, flies, lie, die, IE words. We still use those words. It hasn't gone all together, but on top, I and E, when they get split up, they still make that I sound, but there's just another letter in the middle. They hold hands. The idea of the dash is they're still holding hands. They're still working together. This is how we explain it to the children, and they make the same long I sound. Okay. So in this word, I'm time. Makes sense. Yeah. It is never going to get you time, but using that long vowel sound, I'm does. Okay. With me? Hope so. Okay, this time then, the OE. What sound do you think that makes? Oh, yeah. As in doe, female deer, toe. So words like toe, foe, which is like an enemy, Joe, a name. Okay, doe. We still have the O and the E joined up together, making that O sound. But also, when they got split up, they still make the O sound. They still hold hands, make that long sound, but with another letter in the middle. So for instance, here we've got bone. B-own. B-own. Works, doesn't it? Yeah. But-otten, doesn't. But-otten, makes but-otten. Doesn't give you bone, but but-own does. That's how we use it. And the last one, our U and E. Ooh. Ooh, as in glue or blue. Quite a few words that still use the oo sound with the U and E together. True, hue, cue, sue, dew, all use that oo sound. But also we have the long vowel where it's split up, the split digraph, still making that oo sound in words such as, look at the calendar, what month have we got? June. June. Try making it without that long vowel sound, without the split digraph. Doesn't make J. Okay. Okay, let's read some words together using the split digraph. Okay, let's blend the first one then. So let's have a look together. Ache. A, long A sound. Ache. Make. The lady's making some sort of rug there, I think. Make. Next one then. Let's sound it out together using the long vowel sounds, remember? There's the join to help us. K, ute, k, ute. The kitten's cute, yeah? Next one. Using that long vowel sound, can you find it? There's a line to help you. Plate, plate. 3 sounds, plate. Okay. Next one. That's one of our new sounds from stage 5 at the beginning as well, set 5. A, long A sound, or. And remember, this is why we do O and not L. A, or. It blends much nicer, doesn't it? It's much easier to build our words and say our words by doing it this way. We can blend brilliantly. A, or. A, wouldn't work. A, or. Does. And there's our whale. Okay. Another one. So look at this one together. Long O sound this time, yeah. So k, own, k, own. What have we got? Cone, super stuff. I'm gonna let you have a go at this one yourselves before I jump in. Have a look, see if we can find your long vowel this time. There it is. There's a picture to help us if we need it. Got snake, snake, snake. Okay, and just to bear in mind, although we start by doing this with short words to make it really clear to the children, there are a lot of long words that use these long vowels too, and obviously they will build that in. We do it with short words first so they can it really helps them to identify it, but there are an awful lot of words that they use these long vowels, okay, which you'll probably notice more now you're aware of how they work if you weren't before. Next one then, long I sound this time. Sound it out. Ein. Ein. With me? Super stuff. Next one. Okay, I've got this one then. Smile. Smile. There's your all again, very important. Good stuff. There's his smile. Okay, what about this one then? What could we say the sun is doing? The sun. There's a shine in the sky. Look. Shh. Our long I sound this time, yeah. Split digraph is the I. Shh. Ein. Makes sense. Good stuff. This one. Is that digraph split up? Ache. Ache. Wake. There we go. This one. Long A sound again, look. Shh. Ache. Shh. Ache. Shaking hands. Got a shake. Good stuff. This one. Have a little go. Long A sound again. Put in the rest. Ave. Ave. Yeah. This one. Long I sound this time. Ein. Ein. Fine. I'm doing fine. Stuff. This one. Long A sound again. Playing a g. Aim. G. Aim. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can see how we build with that. Now have a look now at a list of words with the split digraph AE. A, V, A and E. There we go. So we've got came, made, make, take, game, race, same, snake, amaze, escape. There are loads more, but just that, you know, there's a lot of words, there are a lot of vocabulary that your children might be able to use, and now they'll be able to understand how we spell them, and understanding is the first step to be able to do it successfully. They'll be able to write them and spell them much better. Some E ones this time, okay, with a double E. Split digraph. These, Pete, Eve, Steve, even, theme, gene, scene, complete, extreme. Again, longer words, more phonemes, more graphemes in them, but the rule still stands. The I ones, long I sound. Like, time, pine, ripe, shine, slide, nice, invite, inside. The long O sound, the OE split digraph, bone, pole, home, alone, those, stone, woke, note, explode, envelope. Some really exciting words there. And the oo, long oo sound. Here's a list for you. June, flute, prune, rude, rule, huge, cube, tube, use, computer. Just look at that list of words. Now there's lots more, but just look at that list of words that your children are going to understand, not just the S-T-O-N-E is stone because they've learned it, but why stone is spelt the way it is because they've learned a new rule. Be really useful. Okay, then, to go along with phase 5, we've got our list of tricky words again. Oh, Mrs, people, Mr, called, looked, could, asked, and there, THEIR. So these are the words they need to be able to spell because they don't follow the rules they've learnt so far. So they need to be able to read them, spell them, use them. It will help with building their sentences, their grammar and punctuation as well. Okay, next thing then. I'm aware that was probably quite full on. You might want to pause again. I understand it's quite a lot to it, but hopefully quite useful to come back to. The year 1 phonics test, the screening that takes place in year 1. So basically what happens is June-ish time in year 1, the teacher or somebody from the school will sit with your child and there's a list of 40 words, okay? Some of the words are nonsense words, some of them made up words. So for instance, snemp, nonsense word, okay? Some are real. And the idea is the children read through the words and they get a score for however many they know, okay? And the idea is it's not about knowing whether it's a real word or not, it's about the skill, the brick building with the phonics. Have they learned to read with phonics, basically? So it explores lots of the different phonemes. If they find that a child needs extra help, they put more support into year 2. This is a good time to do it. If they find that a child's fine, they can move on into year 2 with the next things. But let's have a look, because I found a little video just to explain it to you as well.
Children complete a word reading check at the end of year 1 so that parents can be confident that their children are being taught to read successfully. Accurate word reading at 6 is a good predictor of future reading success. Children read 40 words. It takes between 2 and 5 minutes. If they don't manage to read 32 of the words, they're given extra support and repeat the check at the end of year 2. It means that all children will be able to read accurately before they begin year 3. They read words with 2 and 3 sounds, for example, in, dog, ship, and play, and then words with different letter combinations, scream and phone, and longer words like second and tractor. Children are encouraged to sound out each word, sh, it, p, ship, it, light, snow, snow. Half of the words in the check are real words and the other half are nonsense words. For example, chob, tass, sput. There is a picture of an alien next to each word to remind them it isn't a real word. Children who can read nonsense words will very soon be able to read any new word. For example, gargantuan, flailing, raucous, spriggan, anticipation. Their vocabulary will increase rapidly. Teachers in Read Write Ink schools teach the sounds needed for the check and how to put these sounds together to make words. They will be very happy to show you how you can help at home.
Okay, that is a Read Write Ink video, and your children might not do Read Write Ink at school, but the phonics test is the same regardless, and that just gives you a bit more of an idea of how that goes. What I would say is don't worry about it. It's something that all children will do. It's really to inform the school about children that may need extra support or children who might need extra guidance because they might be doing really, really well. It's just about trying to plot where children have got to give them the best help moving forward. Here's an activity for you that will be attached with the email that comes out that you can have a go at, which is about the IE split digraph, making the I sounds. This is a nice activity where the children can try and find them all. So we've practiced. You can share the PowerPoints with them when they're doing this, if that helps, when they get to this point. And then some activities there where you can have a go at writing the split digraphs, finding the split digraphs, and guessing which ones you want. So that's quite a nice one. Phase 6, after phase 5, just to give you a little bit of background for that. It's all about improving their fluency as a reader, becoming increasingly accurate spelling. So again, it's about these different grapheme choices. And a big part of what's taught in phase 6 is suffixes, and they're word endings. Okay, and this is just a list of the 12 suffixes that are taught. So a suffix goes on the end of a word, okay? So for instance, S, ES, ING, ED, ER, EST, Y, EN, FUL, LY, MENT, and NESS. So S, ing, ud, est, y, n, full, ly, ment, and ness. Change the meaning of words, change the tense of words, and to read the next 200 common words. Those links there will actually take you through some of those suffixes and just explain a bit more about where they come in. It's the next thing the children do into year 2 generally, and it just builds on what they've already got and teaches them new rules and will help again with their writing and their vocabulary. Please use those links, they're quite helpful for that. Here is a phase 6 activity that you could have a go. We did the roll and read earlier on, and this is again, some of these have got the ly. So for instance, in the 3 column you've got gladly, so that's got the ly suffix on. Glad has been changed to a new word, gladly. In the 2 column you've got calling, which has been changed from call to calling, and asked. Ask has been changed to asked by adding an ed. So this supports that. And you've also got some of these alternative graphemes. So at the bottom of the 1 column you've got horse, where the sound is made by S and E. So it just teaches some alternatives, and it's got some trickier words that follow different rules in there. So that's good fun. Another practice with suffixes, this is just a word search. So we've got a list of words here with some pictures to help with the understanding. Brightest, darkest, lowest, youngest. So this is the EST suffix word search. You can find others online. There are others around. This is just an example of one that you can just get practicing with again. Remember, it's just about trying to find alternative activities. So it's not just all about sit down, let's learn this. It's about trying to make it more interesting, engage in them, and giving them more ways of realizing that they probably can do it. It's just about confidence sometimes, and these sorts of activities and your help and you working with them, and time and attention can really help with that. Here are some more online activities for you to have a go at that fit with phase 5. Brought a few of these up to show you, so let's have a look. We've got the Phonics Pop, which is one we looked at previously, but it does go into the higher sets, so you could have a go at doing it with some of your, you could just do it with your split digraphs. Look, if you look here,
your new sound is O.
So we're looking for the O. Okay. You just try and pop the bubble. I'm not quick enough. That's rubbish. Yeah. Again, it's just about trying to get as many as you can, and it's O. So you might say
your new sound is
okay.
A.
You're collecting the stars, if you remember, with that one. So that's quite a nice one the children like. Another one on this list is this one here, which is the phoneme. So you choose your phonemes here. So I might choose. There it comes, look. So you just choose a few. I'm going to choose a few that will be useful for what we've been doing this week. So I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose. And put some vowels in here too to help with what we're doing. You just choose the ones you want. When you've got them all, you click on the crosses to get rid of the rainbows, and you can have a go at building your words. So I'm going to use, when you move, say something.
O. A.
Have a go at making some nonsense words.
Z. A. Z.
As it helps you to blend. Yeah, and obviously the children can pull them apart. If they suddenly realise they want another letter, they just click on the cross again, it comes back, they can find something else.
It. It.
Okay.
It.
What happens if I change one letter?
O. O.
Okay, just another nice example of something they can have a go at doing together. They could play it in pairs, they could play it in groups as well. This one, Mr. Thorne Does Phonics, is quite a popular thing on YouTube. It's another alternative of explaining the A, like the A family we looked at, Mrs. A and Mr. A. I'll show you a little
It's
bit.
Mr. Thorne, and you are watching Mr. Thorne Does Phonics. And before you ask, yes, today I have got a brand new selection of sounds. Have a go at that. Brilliant. I could tell you were doing that. I could hear that all the way up here in my ninth. A-E, A-Y, a single A on its own, and even the EI and EIGH. I even have to move to the side to fit that one in. Those are all the different graphemes that make the A for
Twist him on a bit.
able, play.
So again, it just takes you through some examples. You could read with the
8.
children, you could pause them, you could write them, you could try and rhyme them, you could come up with some more of your
Away.
own. That's another useful resource that you might quite like. And they're all on this list here. Again, split diagraphs you can look up. You'll find videos and things for those as well. And you know, you're doing phase 5 and phase 6, so you'll be able to find other activities too if you're interested. So I feel like I need to take a big breath now. It feels like there's been quite a lot of new sounds and new rules and trying new things out. But I'm really hoping that by having a go, hearing it, being able to come back to this, it will help you to consolidate what you may have known already, what you might have kind of wondered about, what you might have sort of noticed but didn't know the names of, and that will obviously support your children's learning if you're a bit more confident too. So this week we have the letters and sounds phase 5 with the split diagraphs and alternative graphemes, different ways of reading and writing sounds. We've looked at the phonics screen check. I've introduced phase 6 to you and given you some more activity ideas and links. On reflection then, just take a moment. As I say, I know there's been quite a lot in this session, but just take a moment to think, where would you put yourself now? Phase 5, phase 6, screen check. Do you feel like you know a bit more than you did before? What colour would you put yourself on? Within that, just have a think about the session. Has anything today been particularly helpful? Have you learned anything new? Is there anything perhaps your children have struggled with before, or you can see them coming up to them might struggle with that you can now explain to them? And also importantly, is there anything you'd like more help with? And again, please do feel free to drop me an email. And if I can pass on anything to yourself or help with anything further, I will. Just to remind you, although this is the end of the phonics, we've done 5 weeks of phonics. We have a week off next week, so you won't get anything next week. But the week after that, we go into the school English, which is grammar, punctuation, spelling, poetry, writing and reading, a week of each. Just giving you an overview of what is done in schools, primary schools, hopefully giving you some supportive links, resources and information which will help you support your child with English at school. You are automatically enrolled on that, so the sessions will continue to come out with you via email. And if you've got any questions or anything you want to say about that, please again do feel free to email me, and there's my email address in case you need it. I hope it's been useful. Again, rewind back, watch bits you need to, watch it in chunks, however works for you. And if you are interested in other courses, please have a look at the bottom. So, hoping you have a super week and have a lovely week off with your children, and I will see you again after half term. Thank you.